Let's take you straight back to the City Council in Johannesburg now. We find Pule Letshwiti-Jones. Pule, you were still getting reaction from political parties there?
You're right.
Definitely, and apologies for that disruption in connecting live view, which is supposed to allow us to give you that live coverage. But I'm still joined by Mr. Thapelo Ahmad from Al Jamaa. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, we're just speaking about the council now having descended into chaos. Maybe just a quick recap in what you just heard from some of your colleagues who are in court.
Oh, thank you. On the matter of court, I spoke under correction in the basis that I wasn't part of the court. Yeah. But there's an argument that there isn't an interdict because the proceedings of council has taken place. However, when it comes to programming, we followed the internal processes to the latter in a sense that we are here today and we are seated as councillors. So there wasn't anything illegal that we've done. This is why they took it to the court, seeking public sympathy and other state inviting other state organ. So councillors who voted for the mayor, for the motion, they were 139. The motion was never opposed. So that would mean to the residents of Johannesburg, the vacancy of the executive mayor, it is vacant. The position is vacant. Yeah. So we are now on break.
Right. So before we enter into the realm of speculation, just a few things, a few technicalities here. I've now been told that the programming committee meeting did not sit yesterday because it did not reach quorum, that members of Action SA walked out, and therefore the speaker can't preside over council because that committee meeting didn't happen. And secondly, I'm also being told that the motion of no confidence brought by the AIC does not meet the required legal recommendations as well. And this is one of the prayers in the founding affidavit of the Johannesburg mayor. Are you aware about this, Mr. Ahmed?
Thank you so much. So when it comes to the issue of Action SA, I'm in no liberty to talk about the Action SA. What I know is that the programming committee said this is why items on the agenda are admitted to council, which is sitting today. Secondly, on your question, what was your question?
Just in regards to the programming committee and, of course, the AIC motion.
Okay, thank you so much. So remember this AIC motion, when it was admitted in programming previously, they used a technicality of a field-banned foundation. They said the matter is sub judice. So we made our due diligence. We went to court, to the High Court, and when we got to the High Court, the matter was dormant. This is why they can't use that technicality anymore. So this motion was admitted on those bases.
But Colleen also recognizes that this motion does have problems.
No, it doesn't have. The motion doesn't have problems because remember, in programming, you have a legal advice of the city. So if the legal team of the city has endorsed the motion, it means that they need to give us guidance as councillors. And then if there's any issue to be debated, that issue is debated in council, which is what was happening today. The matter of the motion was debated in council, and they tried to create chaos because they didn't have any standing point so that they can derail us. Maybe they were waiting for the judgment, or they were anticipating that council would collapse. But it's so disappointing to see government protesting against itself.
Yeah, I mean, you bring in a very important point because the residents are affected here. I mean, if you go to El Dorado Park, there's a problem there. In Soweto as well, there's a problem. It's just chaos in the city, and residents just want to know when service delivery will happen because they're very important key items that needs to be passed in council.
You can see that the multi-party government had no interest on the people. This is why they came today in council without even signing the register. So their intent was to disrupt council and push it into chaos so that we collapse. And when it collapses, that's where the grass suffers, when two elephants are fighting.
But you're accused of hijacking power from the multi-party coalition government.
We didn't hijack any power. This is a democratic process. This is why the motion went to programming. From programming, it was brought to council so that councillors must debate, not to sing the songs of praise.
Okay. Yeah. Thapelo Ahmad, thank you very much for joining us. That's the Al Jamaa leader. They're joining us right now, Masira. Quite interesting, man. This political infighting happening in the city. But, yesterday I was speaking to the residents. It's quite upsetting. Still a lot of things that has to happen in terms of service delivery. And here we are. We're at the center stage of this political disagreements and infighting. There's a court case that's been heard on an urgent basis that will determine the mayor's future. Motions flying all over. It's chaos in the city of Johannesburg.
Yeah, it definitely is. And of course, we'll see what happens after this 1-hour caucus meeting that has been granted, or caucus break. Pule Letshwiti-Jones live for us at in the city of Johannesburg. That extraordinary council sitting taking place, 139 people voting for the ousting of the executive mayor. But of course, we know that the opposition, or rather the official coalition partners, did not vote. So there's a lot of legalities around it, and the fact that it's actually the fact that there was a sitting today is being argued in court as we speak.